Brandon with goHUNT. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the common questions with Kansas. We're getting a little later in the application season, getting a little bit further along in the spring. Something new that we have that we're excited about is a new membership. It's called Explore. It's just maps. It's for those guys that want a mapping platform that is dedicated to hunters, built by us, built by hunters here in the office. Got some neat features. You take it on your phone, it's got the app. So we're excited about that. That's a new membership that we have this year. It's a little bit lower price point than our insider membership. So for those guys just looking for maps, it's a great option out there. Jumping into Kansas, a lot of the questions we get about Kansas are, how does the draw work? They preference, they bonus points. So to jump right in, they are a preference point state. For non-residents, you can apply for deer, and we're mainly talking about deer. So whitetail deer, mule deer, they do have some antelope opportunity and some elk opportunity. We're not going to talk about that much. And they are a true preference point, so the people with the most points have preference, except for non-resident mule deer. So it is more like a stamp that you've got to be successful in drawing that whitetail tag, and then on your application you check that you want to be entered into that mule deer stamp, and it's true random. So there's limited number of tags for non-residents on both the whitetail side and that mule deer stamp, and so you build points, preference point, people with the most points win, and then true random on that mule deer stamp. One thing to note, within that you get 4 choices on your application, and they do consider all 4 choices before moving on to the next application. To note, that whitetail tag is non-refundable, so it's not like you can apply, draw the whitetail tag. If you don't draw the mule deer stamp, you can turn the tag back in. Once you draw that whitetail tag, it's your permit, with the exception of like extreme cases, so death in the family, some of those extreme cases that most states will honor a refund on. The other question that we get in a lot of states are party apps. A lot of people, want to apply with one application. So if one person draws, the whole group gets to go. They allow up to 5 applicants, and they don't average points. So they go with the guy in the group that's got the lowest points. That's what your application is going to go in with. So if you have a guy with 5 points and a guy with 1 point, you're going to go in with 1 point. So something to keep in mind when you are applying in a group, if you are wanting to do that. Again, we touched on some of how they allocate permits or non-resident quota. That's another question that we get in a lot of these states across the West. Or, am I set to like up to 10% of permits, or am I set to a set number of permits? And that's how Kansas allocates permits to non-resident. They set a certain number of permits aside. So with that, on the resident side, most of the tags for residents are over the counter. So particularly the whitetail one, they do offer a draw for residents. It's a rifle permit, and it's good for any deer. So the tag that the residents put in for apply and build points for is that whitetail or mule deer tag, and it's a rifle season. To note that the non-residents are going to be applying for archery and muzzleloader permits. So there isn't a rifle permit. You're applying for those archery muzzleloader, and then the mule deer stamp follows that same weapon type. So if you draw the whitetail archery whitetail tag and the mule deer stamp, you've got an archery mule deer tag, if you will. So those are some of the common questions we get in Kansas. It's some of the things to consider. It's largely private land. There's not a ton of public opportunity in Kansas. Not to say that there's not. That's where, like, a good mapping program, we talked a little bit about the Explorer package that we're excited to launch. It's got everything that a hunter would need. It's got public, private, all of that, that you come to expect from a great mapping product. So we're excited about the Explorer launch. It's something that you will need, you'll highly need in the state of Kansas, because of the private property that they have out there. There are some public land opportunities out there. Every year we get, we hear from customers that have drawn Kansas tags and go out there and hunt public land and harvest great whitetail and mule deer out there. So it's not something you shouldn't consider because of the private issues out there, but just make sure it's on your radar. prior to applying, do a little bit of homework, you know, beforehand, before applying, selecting a unit. You know, if you've got access to property, it's even better. But again, these are just high level questions that we get every year. We do dive in depth into all of the states through the app strategy articles, and those will be posted along with this video, and those go into great detail, explain everything about the states, how the draw works, any intricacies that we have with those. So check those out. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions, just drop them in the comment section below and we'll get back to you with any answers that we can.